So explain to us what libertarian is.
I hear that all the time. Let me tell you what libertarian is. Libertarian is someone who says you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be. Just don't force others to be like you.
Got it.
That's what we are all about. We are all about long-term solutions, not short-term solutions. We're all about changing culture, not just changing law. Law, we have to remember something. At the end of almost every single law is a guy or a gal with a gun who will put you in a cage. And if you don't want to go in that cage, he or she is going to kill you. That means you only use law when it really matters, not just because I'm angry, not because I don't like you, not because you should do some activity I think you shouldn't do, or whatever the case may be. It's only for important things like life and liberty and property and things like that. That's when you use violence. That's when you use force. That's what libertarians all about.
Yes, I'm here, Larry Sharpe. Welcome to Libertarians Drinking Coffee Live. I hope you liked my cool little intro I just shoved up there. Back when I was on Ebro in the morning during the campaign, this is probably now 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that. It was a while ago, but he was asking a very simple question: what's libertarian? I'm trying to get more people to understand that to the best of our ability, and that's why we're here. Libertarians Drinking Coffee. The brand is strong. Here's my coffee. I actually have it. There we go. We are rocking and rolling. And we are here today with a man running for New York State District 51, the Senate seat in upstate New York. Yes, I'm from New York City, so anything north of the Bronx, upstate. That's how that works. Mr. Tim O'Connor, how are you, my friend?
I am wonderful, Larry. I just got to say, I want to start off with saying thank you for inviting me on your show.
Of course.
It was going to be a huge honor to be with a former gubernatorial candidate who actually had the guts to run against an entrenched power machine in New York, okay? But now I'm on the show with a vice presidential candidate, Larry Sharpe, who is making some noise on the national scene with Judge Gray, who I am learning about and am completely impressed with. This experiment, this social thing I'm doing, I've learned so much in such a short period of time, and
I am so glad.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
People like you.
Thank you, brother. No. We got to play it forward, right? We got to keep paying it forward. Absolutely. And speaking of paying it forward, guys, if you like what we're doing, please like, comment, and share. Let people know that we're on now. Let them know we're talking about local candidates that really matter, guys who are going to make real impact. And speaking of impact, Tim, I have to ask the obvious question, right? Why are you doing this? It's a challenge. It is a suck of your time, of your emotion, of your thought process, of your money. It's a suck of everything. Why are you running now, and why state senate?
Okay, so if not now, when? And if not me, then who? Okay, and that's, I know it's a cliche that goes back forever, but it's real, okay? I mean, for example, I could have ran for town board on a write-in ballot, which I did a couple times and lost, okay? But if I put libertarian next to my name, I probably can't even win the dog catcher slot, and I don't reach anybody with a libertarian message. And the libertarian message, first of all, one of my goals is to reinvent what we do with our local governments. We've got to do something in upstate New York to get these kids interested, right? Millennials, something on the order of 55 to 75%, depending on what study you want to read, they are interested in third-party action. Now, does that have to be the Libertarian Party? I'd like it to be. We have lots of great ideas, right? So I go to my local town board, and I look at the people that are on the town board, and they're making like $2,000 there, and they're shuffling papers, and they're handling budgets, and they're a great group of people, right? They want to hear from me. They ask, they do, but it's a volunteer job at $2,000, right? So so our budget gets eaten up by these unfunded mandates. These these administrative requirements, and we can't pay our town board officials more than $2,000. I mean, come on, man, we got to be better than that, don't we? Don't we have to be better than that?
I think you do, right? You got to pay for talent, right? Absolutely, of course, you got to pay something, right? You have to pay New York City prices, though. You don't got to pay that.
Right.
But you got to pay something.
Right.
Absolutely. So you're saying, if I get it right, the reason why you decided Senate is because you think that's going to be the best way that you can get the message, that most people hear you and you'll be able to say what you want to say. Did I get that right?
I would say you hit the nail on the head. You know, you practically wrote it for me. I could run for county board in Otsego County. I could run for a town board. But the issue is that we need to reach more people with the third party kind of message that we're working on here, that issue-based campaigning, solutions to problems, real solutions that we face, like dying agriculture, like our children leaving. And look, I got a personal.
That's huge. Kids leaving. Oh my God, Tim, that's huge in upstate.
I have a personal story there, right? I'm going to give a shout out to my 28-year-old, just turned 28-year-old daughter, who is a lawyer in Virginia, working on the front lines of things like weed legalization and making telemedicine viable and legal, so we can't be suing doctors and stuff like that every time they don't see something over the computer, but still get this cheaper way to access healthcare for people like me, really. You know, I can sit at home and I can say, Doc, I got a headache and I got a fever. Can I get some medicine? And they say, beep, beep, beep. Yup, here you go.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it's a complicated issue, believe it or not, it seems to me, because
I wish he was in New York.
Yeah, it seems to be like it'd be so easy.
I wish your daughter could find work in New York and I have to go to Virginia.
Well, and again, let's put that out there as one of my reasons I'm trying this, okay? I would love to have had her come back here and work on these things. It would have been amazing. It would have been great for our community. And our community, which helped produce her, lost her as an asset.
Yes.
So, and that's happened. I got two more that I want to stick around. They're 16 and 14, and the odds of it are zero, right? Yeah. Right now. They're going to be like, and maybe one of them wants to be a computer programmer. So maybe he computer programs from home or from wherever he goes because he has a talent for it. The other one wants to do some performance, and she wants to be a doctor of psychiatry and help younger kids, you know. So what are the odds that she's going to find success in our small community? Almost anywhere in Senate District 51, what are the odds that she's going to find success?
I got it. So I feel like those are your issues. I mean, you touched a couple of issues, and I'm sure you have a lot of them.
Yeah, millions.
I want to get your issues out. For a lot of people, the COVID scare kind of changed their mindset a bit. So let me give us like a pre and post COVID. Pre-COVID,
right?
Were there one or two big issues that you were were your flagship issues or no?
Oh no, I have a huge issue, right? I the biggest issue of all. And it's going to be like two things that kind of combine, right? Lack of economic opportunity in upstate, central, Senate District 51, and all over upstate. Okay. Lack of economic opportunity. And then the fact that taxes are too high. We have bipartisan commissions asking for money to do a study, to give us the answer to why people are leaving. And I can tell them taxes are too high. There's too many regulations, and every single time you turn around, you feel like you're going to get a boot put on your neck for something simple like serving your neighbors. Period. Okay, that's absolutely real. So yeah, I have issues, right? And
I get it. All right, so that's your big issue. I got it.
Yeah.
Basically, people leaving, right? Lack of opportunity, right? I get it.
Taxes are too high.
Now that COVID has hit, has that changed for you, or is it still the same?
Well, it's got to stay the same, right? Because tourism in Otsego County and a lot of Senate District 51, tourism is our #1 revenue generator for the county to spend money on, which is great, except for this year, two of our major contributors to the tourism industry, and actually it's two major businesses, one tourism industry, and that's baseball, right? I'm 5 miles away from the Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh, sure. Right. Yeah.
So our county budget in Otsego County going to get decimated. It's absolutely going to get decimated. So how do we fix that situation when our taxes are already too high?
Yep.
When we already were relying on tourism and our taxes are too high.
So you're saying for you, COVID actually deepened this. It didn't actually change for you. It made it deeper.
Yeah, it did. And then I got the personal solutions to COVID, right? We stand by our neighbors. I had to go file some paperwork with the New York State Board of Elections today. And and I'll talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. So reach out to me on my Facebook page, message me, stuff like that. I'll reach out to anybody, anywhere, anytime. So I'm talking to the girl at the post office. She has a cool face mask on. And I'm like, where'd you get that? She's like, I made it. And I'm like,
nice.
I'm like,
nice.
My neighbor went to the store yesterday, and he only goes to the store once a week, right? So he doesn't have a mask. He couldn't find any masks to buy yesterday. So how do I get that guy a mask? I talked to this girl. She's going to make him a mask. And she's made something like 1,700 of these masks.
Wow.
And giving them away. And I'm like, how much do you charge? And she's like, we do it for free. If you want to make a donation, I'm like, I'll whatever I got that day. Here's the specs that I can give you about the guy. So
that's amazing. You know what I want to bring about this is a great point you brought up, right? The one good thing, I mean, look, this virus is terrible. It's hurt us tremendously, and people are dying, and more going to die. It's horrible. I'm trying to find some silver lining in this horrible situation. And there's one I think that does come out, and that is most people believed that the individual wouldn't show up, that community would not show up, that private sector would not show up, that volunteerism would not show up, and they were all proven wrong. They all showed up. They absolutely did.
And they do every single time we face a crisis. Every single time those people put themselves out there. So some of the things I've offered, buying milk from people to spread it on my lawn, turns out that's a problem, okay? You can't just go buy fertilizer from a farmer and dump it on your lawn. You can't do that. And how does that make any sense? I can't drive 5 miles to get 5 gallons of milk to dump on my lawn to give the guy $20 or whatever I got.
Right.
A little something to help him and his kids through this absolute disaster for him, So I can't even do that because I can't put his right to sell milk at risk. We're over-regulated.
Absolutely.
Regulated.
100%. 100%. All right, so let me go to the next piece here.
Yeah.
And that is, there is a lot of fear out there. A lot of fear, right? And how I think it affects us is when people are afraid, they tend to go to what they know, right? So if I'm afraid and I lean right, I'm going to go with Trump. I'm going to go with my Republican. I'm going to go because I lean right. If I'm scared and I lean left, I'm going to go with Biden, or I'm going to go with whoever my Democrat is running, right? I'm going to go to where I feel most comfortable because I'm afraid. How do we get around that, Tim?
Well, the number one thing we got to realize about those guys is they put their pants on one leg at a time, okay? If they're nervous and look, I don't want to be offensive, but panicked authoritarians do. What panicked authoritarians do, man. And I'm sympathetic to both of Governor Andrew Cuomo and President Trump. I'm sympathetic to the situations that get politicized. I don't think that COVID is something that should be politicized, at least to the best of our ability. We see some flaws in the system probably as a libertarian. I'm interested in statistics, even though I'm just a nail pounding carpenter for the last 30 years. I took statistics in college. And so I'm interested in statistics. I think there's some problems with the way that statistics are being presented, right? So when I look at Cuomo and I look at Trump and I look at people joining each camp, all I can say is we're responding to guys who have politicized this situation, at least to a certain extent, and sometimes accidentally, okay? I want to give everybody in the world the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this disaster, and I mean everybody. So when we were talking about seasoned ventilators, that was very disappointing to hear. And you could get a ventilator from just about any place in the state to just about any place else in the state in 5 hours.
Yeah.
5 hours. So do we need to seize them? And what happens when we threaten to seize stuff?
Exactly.
To seize stuff. We have a boating accident, man.
Yes.
On, I know.
I'm with you. This is the point that I bring up before, right? If you look at if you look at most polling, most Americans believe we should be in lockdown. About 70% or so believe we should be in lockdown. What does that mean? Most people would self-quarantine without forcing them to quarantine.
Yeah.
Most do it anyway. And as more do it, others follow. That's what happens anyway, right? If you just said, look, it's the right thing to do, as you said, people tend to step up. Maybe not always right away, and there's some belligerent ones, but eventually you finally start doing it because we're all doing it. But the second I say, Tim, you better do it, that's when you go, I'm not doing it.
I'm driving to Albany and waving flags, man.
Absolutely, yes. That's exactly what's happening. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
There's no requirement to make it for. I agree with you completely. I think not just that. Can you telling me that if I don't know, New York City called up Utica and said, Utica, we're in trouble. We need 500 ventilators, and Utica didn't need them, they'd go, no, of course not.
They can't, man.
They'd shove it on a truck and it'd be down there, like you said, in 5 hours. Yes. It'd be there in 5 hours.
Yeah, if they put the hammer down, they could be there in 3.5. All right.
Oh yes, I was using your numbers. Yes, but of course. Yes.
I'm joking around. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So we're all of our professionals, the hospital leaders, they were standing at the ready. They were saying, "Look, we're waiting for people from that situation. This is a disaster. We've got to help." Sure, you have to prepare and protect your community.
Yes.
But you also have to help sick people first. That's what we have to do.
Absolutely.
And so the community people, you can see them arguing on Facebook, and they're looking out their window and say, don't come take our ventilators and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I understand that. But we were ready. We were prepared. And we still are, right? We're not getting hit with COVID the way that you guys are. And
I'm in the belly of the beast, man. I'm literally in Queens, New York. I'm in the worst hit place. Yes.
So we're so many of us, most of us, and the guys in positions, the ladies in positions to make decisions are standing ready, still standing ready to help out however they can. So
absolutely. We
can't confuse the message. We can't say, all right, some people in the community are upset. They deserve to be upset. They deserve to be nervous because this is real, okay? So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. So let me now, with that in mind, you spoke about farmers, right? You brought that up. Dairy farmers, particularly. Most people particularly in the cities don't know the difference between a dairy farmer and a non-dairy farmer. They have no idea. Most don't. So let me ask, are there any niches that you think are naturally going to be like, Tim, that's my guy. I get it. I'm in. Do you think there will be people in niches who your message is going to land for them?
So I did this because I have answers, or at least I think I have answers, right?
Okay.
So in Senate District 51, we can talk about on order of 50,000 formerly productive acres of farmland are going fallow. Okay. On the order of that.
Wow, that's a lot.
So should we turn that into solar farms for small cities, or should we grow hemp? Right? Should we grow hemp? Should we grow marijuana? And should we make that just a little bit easier for my neighbor to go out and plant some seeds, keep an eye on his crop, and help him find a way to sell it? You know what I mean? Like we got to think about stuff. We got to revolutionize this stuff. Okay.
So you think farmers are going to be natural? They're going to hear your message. Is that what you're saying?
Well, okay. So even in the farming communities, you got big, huge industrial farms.
Sure.
And you have tiny little 150-acre plots of land. So the big, huge industrial farms, and again, whether it's accidental or on purpose, get to pay lobbyists to craft legislation.
That's on purpose.
I'll say
that. Don't worry. I'll say that.
District, so I got to be careful there. Gotta be political. But yeah, so it is on purpose, okay? They buy regulations. That's of course. Okay? I'll take a hard line there. They're buying regulations to keep little guys out of this business of trying to make money. So hemp is a big solution. If we go into major hemp production in agriculture, like I don't think we grow it, we store it. I think the processing facilities are going to come along. They're not here.
Agreed. No, I think you can see this if you look. The example I always give in this world is for New York State. For you guys who aren't in New York State, this may not be obvious for you, but for us, we saw it with the beer industry, the breweries, right? We saw when they began to loosen regulations, all of a sudden, now we've got all of a sudden people having breweries everywhere. It began to pop up. People came back. The use stayed because it was cool and sexy and new industry. I think the example's there.
And what did it take? It took the government at least trying to get out of the way. Now they handed out money to get some of this stuff going. I think it's easier to just say, hey, look, you want to have a plot of hemp in your backyard and you got a way to sell it? Do it. Do it. And I don't want to come across as anti-green energy, but if you take and build a solar panel farm, guess what? 20 years, that's the lifespan of a solar panel farm. You ain't getting that back to make food. It ain't happening. All right. You are committed for 20 years to produce electricity because you made a huge investment. And so I kind of like windmills. You know, if we're going to do this big green energy thing, windmills. Up here, there's room for them and to still produce food. Or
you just brought up something very interesting, Tim, that I hadn't actually thought of. You know, the idea of how things change so quick in our world today, right? I mean, things change. The biggest companies, you know, weren't around 30 years ago, right? The jobs that we're doing now 10 years ago didn't even exist, right?
Right.
It's a whole different world. You commit to a solar power farm, you've committed to 20 years of no change.
That's my lifetime, right? I'm 54.
Right.
If I decide to take my 10 acres, put a solar panel farm on it, that's gone. All right. It's till the end of my life. And if my kids don't take an interest in it, it's not worth it.
Right.
So if you
want hemp, we could change over.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said hemp, we could change over, right?
Oh,
if you went hemp, 2 years later, we change it over to whatever is the thing.
And weed, it's a rotatable crop, right?
Right.
If summer's hemp, if hemp bottoms out and you want to grow soybeans next summer, you can do it. You might have to spread some different kind of fertilizer. You might have to you're the farmer. By the way, farmers don't just put dirt over stuff. They know stuff. We go back to Bloomberg's campaign pledge. It was the most embarrassing thing I'd ever seen. And I'm trying to be polite to everyone, but farmers work hard every single day. Okay?
Yes.
They got to know things like, okay, I grew soybean there 3 years ago. Corn's going to grow good next. And you know what? They're going to message me and tell me I'm wrong. So I get it, man. We got sunflower seeds in 3 years. We got to plant alfalfa this year and next year. You know, like, I didn't know that. Even though I grew up on a farm throwing hay bales, okay, I don't know. I didn't understand crop rotation back then, you know?
No, but I think the farmers have something else, though, right? Generally speaking, it's not every farmer, but I think the vast majority of farmers, they're very independent because they have to be able to solve problems on their farm daily. The farmer's got to know how to fix a fence and repair the tractor and figure out, you know, what to plant and to figure out when to plant it and to figure out what tool works for this and what tool works for that. And, you know, all these things. And then what should they be selling and what should they be keeping? And what animal do they slaughter if they even have animals and which ones do they not? All those things. I think they kind of have to be jacks of all trades, don't they?
And with all due respect to you, we're almost understating it, aren't we?
Okay.
As a contractor, I can be a jack of all trades, so I can go learn something new that benefits my customers, right? Mm-hmm. Farmers every day are going to run into something they've never run into before.
That's true.
They have to have a methodology. They're literal geniuses, okay? They have to have a methodology that solves new problems.
Right.
Every single farmer is a libertarian in their heart, whether they know it or not, because
I've been saying that forever.
They're solving problems every day. Every day. I remember
when I was running, one of the things I focused on for helping farmers is a mindset change for the state.
Yes.
Like, the state looks at farmers as, oh, you're a farmer. I look at farmers as small business owners.
Yes.
And most people don't look at them that way, right? I've always been about a farmer is a small business owner by default, and we should look at them and treat them exactly like that. It will change the mindset.
Their mindset's already there. Though they're trapped in, okay, I need a government program because I've had a government program and I need a better government program, right? So we talk about one government program to solve a problem that another government program created. And we get caught in this. Exactly. Queter's on helping us out. I love that guy. I know you do too, man. Yep. So they have to bounce back and forth with these problems that they got to solve every single day. And I hopefully I didn't lose my train of thought too bad right there.
No, but you were talking about government programs. And the problem with the government programs you'll find constantly is they're never able to actually do the thing they're supposed to do and they're not designed to actually help. They're designed to service, so they never go away. They're designed to get the person hooked on it to create a new program so that they're constantly gaining more control over that farm.
Yeah.
That's what it's designed for, right? That's the biggest problem. I think you're very right. You're absolutely correct in this.
I love this conversation because we can say, find me a government program that's gone away. Find me one that hasn't morphed into something else. Okay. Find me a government program that solved the problem and says, see you later. I did my job. Okay.
Right.
I think there may be some. I haven't found any.
There's an old saying: "There's nothing more permanent than a temporary government program."
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yes,
I love it.
Absolutely. No, I think it's true, right? The thing I bring up often, you probably heard me say it before, is the difference between a nonprofit and a government program, right? A nonprofit that is not government sponsored, that is sponsored by donors.
Yes.
If you ever go to an event where they're saying, "Give us money, donate to us," the first thing they will show you is a success story, right?
Yeah.
If the charity, gives kids college educations or whatever, they will show you kids who went to college. If it helps the homeless, they will show you some guy or gal who, was homeless and isn't homeless anymore, right? They'll show you successes.
Yeah.
But government programs don't.
Right.
Government programs show you numbers of people they've serviced, which means people who still have the problem.
Yeah.
They are validated by people still having the problem. So if people don't have the problem, they're no longer valid.
Yeah. And look, I've been very fortunate to be in great places, and I have a great mom, okay? Her entire adult life was dedicated to running a thing called the Family Service Association, right, in Oneonta, New York. Okay. And that is a private charity that did create solutions to problems. My mom crafted a parenting course, okay, so that people could come in, learn how to, those moments that sometimes when you're poor and you're stressed out, how to handle those situations, to move beyond that and be an effective parent, be an effective advocate for your child. And my mom crafted that kind of notion right in Oneonta, New York. Okay. Teachings made it to, seminars and books and stuff like that. And on that note, it's a local charity. It's called the Family Service Association. They need help every single day. I ran a golf course or a golf tournament about 7 times to raise that money towards my mom's, she was heading to retire. The local community came out, and that golf tournament, it first of all validated my mom. It second of all validated me. And third of all, validated this notion that homegrown charities are just as important as anything else. They get
Absolutely.
From the United Way, they get some grants. They have experts helping them out, writing their grant money and stuff like that. Taken over by a young lady who is doing a wonderful job. She's on the learning curve with it, and she's getting there, man. She's doing a great job. She's getting the numbers back to where helping a lot of people.
You're talking about a lot of different stuff here, which is great.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to run to win. Obviously, you're going to start raising money. You're going to get out there shaking hands, kissing babies.
Yeah.
But we can't really shake hands and kiss babies anymore. We got COVID, right?
Right.
So how are we going to make impact when, look, a guy like you, everyone here can see it. When you're in front of people, personable, you're answering questions, not scared to give your opinion. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about when you can't do the events? How in the world are we as a third party going to make that impact when I can't have a big rally for you, right? I can't rush up there and have a 400-person rally for you. How are we going to handle that?
I don't know. I'm searching for a solution, and we've got a few together. Again, I'll go back to my buddy Queeter, who is, again, he's the bomb, right? He's a brave soul. He's a powerful soul. So he started this anti-lockdown broadcast, all right? And so the emphasis is physical distancing doesn't mean social distancing.
Right? I love that. I love that.
So we're a group of libertarians talking about possible solutions to our current crisis. And we can go back to finding the girl that makes masks at the post office. We can go back to, I offered a bunch of my neighbors, I would just go to the store for them because they're a little bit older than me. And if they were really uncomfortable, I can do that. Now, all of them said, look, we like getting out of the house. But if this thing changes in upstate New York, I'm there for them still.
Sure. So you think you can still go out and make those connections anyway? Is that what you're saying?
Well, as long as you stay 6 feet or 10 feet away from one,
I guess that's true.
You got to get some sun. You got to get some health, right? So they're outside working on their yard. We stand 8 feet apart, maybe 10 feet apart. We have a conversation. So can we group 100 people together and drink beer under the hot sun while I spout off at the microphone? I'd love that, right? I'm looking forward to that possibility.
I like it.
Can we do that right now? No, I don't feel comfortable with that. Not right now. Maybe if everybody there was, 20 years old and younger and could prove to me that they were in perfect health and didn't have type 2 diabetes, we could do that.
Right. I got you. Okay. So you're saying you're still thinking, right? You're thinking that this type of, what you're talking about is this is multiple people together talking. So each of you is drawing a different audience. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. So actually, we're drawing in all sorts of audience. We had a Republican on with us last night.
Okay.
From the 124th. His name's R.C. Ike. Let's face it, a lot of people are libertarians in their heart. They just haven't either realized it or they're afraid of this third-party connotation.
100%.
Right? R.C. Ike, in his heart, is a libertarian. He's running as a Republican. I respect his message, and I want him to do well. Okay.
So you're saying we're going to invite other people into this and hope we get the message to everybody?
Yeah, I invited my daughter on the show. Unfortunately, she had a commitment, but when we do it again, maybe she says yes the next time to talk about how things work in Virginia with regards to telemedicine and legalization of marijuana and hemp and stuff like that. So maybe she joins us. Maybe you join us. We would love that. That would be a big.
I'm in. Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
Okay. We had Dan Berman on.
Oh yes, I had him on this show too. Absolutely.
Yeah. I saw that show. He's a great guy.
He wasn't wearing the big hat. He was wearing the baseball hat.
Yeah.
Not the same, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's good. All right. So look, let me go to the next piece. And a lot of conversation. I love what you're saying. I know you're going to run the win. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I hope lightning strikes and you win.
Right.
But if you don't, what is a secondary win? Do you have it? Maybe you don't. Right. When I ran for governor, it was very easy. Right. My consolation prize was ballot access. So very easy for me to have a consolation prize. Not as easy for you.
Is it or isn't it? I don't know. Right. So in Senate District 51, almost 20% of the people are non-party affiliated. Okay.
How many you say again? How many?
20% of the people in here. Okay. So in Senate District 51, 20% non-party affiliated. So I reach a few of them and they say, all right, I can see the sense in a third party. Maybe they join the Green Party. Maybe they give the Libertarian Party a shot. Maybe they join Working Families Party. Maybe they get interested in issue-oriented solutions and they can realize that maybe we can make a difference. Now, they're not going to realize that without me trying to help them realize that because at some point, right, we're trying to change a mindset about governing, right? We look at Democrats and Republicans, and one of them goes, hey, I got a program that's going to help a lot of people. And the other one goes, that program's pretty good, but I can manage it better. We could be more responsible managing that program that doesn't even exist yet. So libertarians are going to say, well, let's start here in our local communities. Let's talk about what our obligations and responsibilities are and what our rights are. And so that goes to this homegrown making decisions about what's best for our communities, our counties, and stuff like that.
I don't mean to be a nudge here, but I'm going to nudge you a little bit on this one.
Okay.
How do we know that you got what you wanted, right? Is it going to be, are we going to see an uptick in libertarian registration? Are we going to see a current politician change his or her policies? Are we going to see a policy be removed or changed? Are we going to see you in the newspaper, right? Are we going to see you on TV, right? How do we know that, hey, you know what? Tim wanted impact and he got it. Do we know? Or maybe we don't. If we don't know Tim, it's fine.
We don't know yet, right? But the issues I'm offering are free to my competitors. Okay, they can take them and they can co-opt them. All right,
Mm-hmm.
they can use them and they can argue over them and try to get me in the middle of it, and that's fine. Okay, anything I do. So sometimes I start things out, I'm joking around, right? I'm like, well, if I register one new libertarian, I won. Okay, and I don't spend $50,000 of my retirement money, I won, which is a pretty expensive return. Let's be honest.
That's expensive. I agree. Yes.
So then I'll immediately up the goal because one guy came right through and changed his party affiliation. So already we're up to maybe 7, maybe 8. Maybe this video helps get a couple more guys, a couple more girls interested in being libertarians. And then really, if we start issue-based solution analysts and problem solving, I think that will help change the dynamic of what we see.
I like it. Jim's teasing us. Jim says newspaper, ha ha, he's teasing. But Jim, I'm going to tell you something serious though, right? I dealt with this when I was running for governor, right? And I try to get local newspapers. People say, who newspapers, ha ha ha. It's true there are very few people who read newspapers. You got me on that one, Jim. But here's the critical piece. If you are someone who reads your local newspaper, you vote.
Absolutely. I have a funny story about that too, Larry. I don't mean to
go.
Right? The local Oneonta Daily Star was reaching out to interview people about the pulse of the voter. Okay. And so I had this ephemeral notion that I would like to run for office someday. And they reached out to me and they said, they had my email on file. So they reached out to me to see if I wanted to do an interview. I had offered to write a column from a libertarian perspective. And so they said, hey, do you want to do an interview? I did the interview. I got a half page in the Oneonta Daily Star. So now even when I'm walking in to buy milk, people are asking me, am I really running for Senate?
Wow, that's great.
There's a link to that on my on my Facebook page. And it was just so fortunate, so lucky. And the young lady that interviewed me, it's the best interview I've ever had. And I've been interviewed for other things. Occasionally you get lucky or you run into a reporter. She was fair. She was honest. And the headline of it is Libertarian Candidate Finds Fault All Around. And I just was like,
finds fault all around. I love that.
All around. And so I don't find fault with my local politicians. I know that they feel that a lot of their decision-based stuff is mandated by virtue signaling, which is too expensive. Okay. It's mandated by New York State, which creates rules. And so we got to ask ourselves, are we being served by our government or being ruled by our government? And, when a county board changes the time of its meeting from 7 o'clock on Thursday night to 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, we know the answer. The answer is obvious. They got to make rules and they got to make decisions that are going to be unpopular. And that's unfortunate. That's why these young kids need to get in there.
Agreed.
Offices and then take my job away from me and I want 3 elections, right? I want to be elected 3 times, let's say.
I love it. Take
my job. Take my job in 6 years. Take it, okay? First of all, it's going to be a life-changing amount of money for me. I got to be honest. I'm not going to lie. This is going to be great. I'm going to be able to serve the people of Senate District 51 and make a real positive impact. I know that I will. I know that I will. I believe that I will. It's huge,
So no, and I wasn't going to tease you, Jim, when I said the newspaper thing, but I do see value. I'm glad you see it too. I do. The local newspaper, while it is definitely a smaller audience, but that audience cares, right? The person who actually picks up that weekly newspaper and reads it, that person cares about the community, and that person votes. That's for sure. That's the person who shows up at Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's that person who does that, right?
I've been to them. I work for a customer. I'm a contractor, right? He wants me to go to the board and he wants me to argue his position when they're asking questions. And so I've tried that. Can they really listen to me? They try. They definitely get excited when they have someone in the audience and maybe I'm the only guy there. So they try to answer what I say. They're very respectful. So. And they're doing this really hard job for it's a volunteer thing,
So let me ask the last question. In your race,
Yes.
Or do you have a Democrat and a Republican running?
I do. Yes, I do. Yep.
So it's 3.
Yes.
Is either one of them more likely to win than the other? Is it obvious?
Yeah, it's heavily obvious that the Republican is going to win. What happened in Senate District 51? We got a guy retiring who's
okay.
I got to say faithfully and well, and I've met him personally. Right, he's a good guy, but he's a Republican, and so in my opinion, the Republican is heavily favored to win.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
And,
okay.
So I've met that guy, and he's okay. And I've watched the Democrat, and he's okay. They're nice guys. Now, they're trapped in that mindset, though, of
yes, I see that often. Good people whose ideology gets in the way.
Platitude making. They want to campaign on platitudes that don't mean anything to me. They don't mean anything to my neighbor, other than that platitude is going to cost us money and the future. Okay,
yes.
That platitude is expensive, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me ask, is there anything that you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I owe a shout out to first of all, I try to do them on my Facebook page. I try to do them on my Senate page. Okay. People out there making a difference every single day. We've got your retired doctors and nurses coming back to work, and they're in the high risk zone, right?
Yep.
My garbage guy comes and picks up my garbage still. He hasn't given up. He's battling the elements, and he's battling the fear of a disease, okay?
I agree. We got to be able to fight in this thing. You know, if you've heard me say this before, right?
Yeah, of course I have.
I talk about this. I'm a Marine, right? We got to be able to function in every type of battlefield, whatever that is.
Yeah.
If we don't figure out how to survive during this, crisis, there's going to be another virus eventually. I hope not soon, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You've got to figure out how to survive in this environment for sure.
Yeah. So my wife is an essential employee at Springbrook, which is a direct care provider for kids with heavy autism. They're not just on the spectrum, right? They're challenged every day. So it's a residential facility. I got to shout out to those guys. They're getting up. They're going to work. If this virus gets in there, it's going to be a disaster. So the place is taking great precautions. They've helped these direct care people really make ends meet. So that is a nonprofit standing behind its employees that are doing the hard work of keeping things moving, okay? Keeping people safe, keeping these young people on the autism spectrum, providing them with care that they need, okay? So they're doing that job. That job is huge.
It's a good shout out. It's a good shout out.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like I underserved him on some of my other shout outs because it's my wife.
Well, you gave him a big one now. It's all good. Yeah. You're good. You made up.
I saved it for the big thing. So I got a little list of people I want to thank, if you don't mind.
Run it down. Go.
Okay, we got Thomas Daniel Queter. Did I get it right, Mr. Queter? Okay, running for Senate in District 52. Okay, we got Penner for Freedom running for, and he's a Libertarian running in District 53. And Jake Cornell running for Assembly in 121. Okay?
He's coming on the show too.
Oh yeah, and he's great, man. He's entertaining. He's energetic. He has the stats on the marijuana and the versus the vaping and the smoking cigarettes, and he's going to be able to help educate everybody. Okay. And Rich Patel, guy, I'm running on the JD6 thing too. Okay, I want to help the party build a party, which as a libertarian that kind of freaked me out for about a month. Like, how do I build a party in a party? Like, what? Why do we even need that? We're libertarians, but I figured it out, and I got guys like Dr. Mark Brayman helping me figure out that.
Absolutely.
And so markbrayman.com, guys, he is talking about how we should redistrict New York State, because this is going to be a redistricting year. It
is. It's right after the census, right?
Yeah. It happens every census. How it makes sense to redistrict New York State, try to get it back in line with the New York State Constitution. Okay. R.C. Ike, my Republican buddy from out western there. These guys are trying hard to campaign on issues, right? Campaign not on platitudes. R.C. Ike maybe said yesterday, I don't want to quote him, but he said, after COVID, we should tear up every regulation and go back to the beginning, okay?
That sounds good to me.
It's a pretty bold statement for a guy that considers himself a Republican, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good shout out.
Shout out to my buddy, Ron Mickle. Ron, actually one of the guys that came up to me and said, "Are you really running for Senate? I saw that advertisement in the paper." He's helping Queter get batteries for that tank style wheelchair that he's got. That
yes, that's right.
These things are practically impossible to find. They're incredibly expensive. And a guy like Ron, a small businessman, decided to step up and lend a hand. And
wait, so you're saying the community stepped up?
You know, isn't that crazy?
It's insane.
It's crazy. It's fucking nonsense here, right?
So funny. Well, I appreciate all the shout outs.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you came on, my friend. I appreciate you. I'm glad you came on.
Listen, Larry, whatever I can do to help you out, sir, with this vice presidential thing.
No. Remember, top of the ticket supports bottom of the ticket.
Yeah.
You're the one who's going to win. You're the one who's got to win.
You suggested this was a possibility to me, whether through your many conversations everywhere. In my brain, I'm just like, I've always been an independent. Republicans sometimes are right. Democrats, occasionally they come up with something, but none of them are solving problems. I can make fun of them all day. But then I hear you have conversations about the things that I've been thinking about for years. And I'm like, man, maybe I can help that guy and maybe that guy can help me. Like, this has been a great reward for me, right?
I am very happy to hear that, my friend.
Finding people like Queter and Penner and you and Braven that think like I do has been such a reward, man.
This is the future, brother.
Yes, sir. I hope so.
All right, my friend.
The future for everyone if we get there.
Absolutely. We're on our way. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Guys, thank you all for watching. Head on over to his Facebook page. Support him. It is definitely an important race. Let's make some impact. If we can win. If not, let's make some impact. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, Larry.